Welcome back to the Cutty and Govy Show. We're here at the Boca Resort Hotel. We're going to try out some new digs for a little bit, and we're going to see if we can bring you up to speed on all the news that has taken place. A lot has gone on since our last episode, and I want to welcome my partner in Cutty to our new spot right now, and here he is.
Welcome back to the Cutty and Govy Show. We're at the Boca Resort, as Govy said. We took a couple weeks off. I went up north. My son was in a school play called Chicago. It was very exciting. And they did a spectacular job. And here we are. There's so much been going on, Govy, for the last 2 weeks that we haven't been on the air, and I kind of missed doing this. We're trying this new studio out. I hope everybody likes it. It's fabulous. It's very well appointed. And we got so much going on between Donald Trump coming up with his $454 million penalty. He's having a little trouble. Monday is the due date, where they may lock him out of Trump Tower, his home. They may lock him out of 40 Wall Street and some of his other prize assets. If they come to Florida and lock us out of the golf course in Mar-a-Lago, we won't have anything to talk about.
But with all that being said, with all that's going on with the Fani Willis trial going on in Georgia, I was able to watch him play a round of golf last Friday. And this guy with everything going on, from the blue tees at 77 years old, he shot 75 on Friday. He beat a 34-year-old scratch golfer to get into the finals of the club championship, which he later won on the 27th hole after being at a rally the day before, and they are now co-champions. Again, 77 years old, playing from the blue tees, and shot in the 70s. He shot below his age, which is incredible. With everything going on, trying to get money, has 4 indictments, has the Willis going on, and he just keeps plowing through, which is really uncanny. Like him, not like him, it's something that most people just can't even conceive that they would be able to handle that.
Well, Govy and I had the honor of being able to follow him around because we knew his opponent, this 34, 35-year-old young man. And you're traveling around with 20 Secret Service agents and golf carts. And again, Donald Trump is an incredible golfer. For any age, he's playing a 6,600-yard course, which is long. I play a 6,200-yard course. Most guys over 60 play 6,200.
Most guys in their 60s play from the white tees.
Right. He's playing from the blues.
He's playing from the blues.
But as Govy said, it's remarkable. This guy has 91 indictments against him. Then he has this crazy situation where he has to post this bond for over $500 million with the 20% overage. But he's playing spectacular, and he travels with a personal assistant. And on the 9th hole, it was a Friday, Govy looks at his phone, and the Fani Willis news comes out. I mean, the guy's playing great. The Fani Willis news comes out that either her or this guy Wade has to leave the case. So Wade decides to leave the case. Rather than both of them gotten blown out, it was so crazy they lied so much. But anyway, for the next 2 holes, Trump, dunked the balls in the water and, completely fell apart. And
he was playing spectacular.
Right.
Up to then. This was his first bogey. He dunked one, not a long shot in the water, a chip shot that went in the water because he just got the news that the trial still may be going on. We didn't know at the time, it was real time that was happening. So it wasn't the verdict that he thought was coming. And that's the only chink in the armor.
Right. And somehow, miraculously, the guy composed himself after getting this horrifying news that Fani Willis gets to stay in the case after she lied and perjured herself and paid for cash, all these crazy stories. By the 3rd hole after the news, 9, 10, on 11, he started playing great again.
Yeah.
He went 1 up all the way up to 17. The match was even on the 17th hole. On the 18th green, How long was that putt he sank for a birdie?
18 feet.
Yeah, he sank an 18-foot putt for a birdie to win the match.
I mean, but to his one advantage he has is, to me, to win a match an 18-foot putt would make me a little nervous. But everything that's going on in his life, I don't think an 18-foot putt makes him nervous.
I don't know. What is he, about 6'3", 6'4"?
6'4".
I think he needs a longer putter, because when he putts, he hunches way over the shot. But anyway, he had a bunch of caddies, bunch of people standing around the green.
But what was fun is, like, if you ever gone skiing out like in Aspen or Vail, you see people coming down the mountain with these fuchsia colors, so that way people could see that they don't hit you. You know, the bright pink colors. Or if you're in Hawaii, you get caught up and you see people wearing Hawaiian shirts and you think, maybe I should buy a Hawaiian shirt. So, you know, you look the part. But then you get back to like your hometown, like Philadelphia, say, and you wear that fuchsia hat or that Hawaiian shirt and everybody looks at you like an idiot. Well, if I had to wear a Make America a Great hat in downtown Boca Raton, people would stare at me like, what the hell are you wearing that hat for? But when you're on the grounds there, it's like you're in Aspen. A lot of people are wearing these hats, and it's like, you know what? You can put your hat on. You don't have to worry about people like saying anything negative about you.
Well, it's pretty remarkable. There's 350 million Americans. There's 20,000 people at a rally. They stand 2 hours, 3 hours in line to get in, and maybe they're lucky to be in row 24. Govy and I are 7 feet away in a golf cart. Right. It was pretty cool. I mean, whether you like the guy, hate the guy, the power of an ex-president, the presidency, it's just a remarkable experience.
And it takes time to talk to everybody. You know, like he just finds time. His granddaughter was playing in a championship. He spends time. I mean, he's a family guy. I mean, it really is. The way he juggles his schedule is incredible.
And I have to tell you, I don't know about us, Govy, you know, with whether the camera makes you look heavier. But he's a lot thinner in person than he looks on TV. When you see him on TV, he looks like a bigger guy. I mean, he is a big guy, but I mean, he's
not heavy.
He's not heavy. He's a muscular guy.
He lost weight since 2016.
Yeah, he looks great. Anyway, we have so much going on today in the news. Yesterday was a crazy day with those two head of the Army or Joint Chiefs of Staff where they testified about the Afghanistan withdrawal.
That was horrible. It was sad.
It was horrible.
It was sad that it comes down to, and they still haven't even finished really giving you the truth, but it's just amazing that two generals told the President of the United States what their opinions and how to handle it, and he went his own way, where it's sort of like what Barack Obama said, leave it to Joe and he'll fuck things up. Well, he did. And he actually promised everybody that this wasn't going to be like Vietnam, where you're not going to have a visual of a helicopter trying to take off and going into the water. Well, this was worse. This was people falling from an airplane at like 1,000 feet, just trying to escape. And again, we don't know how many Americans are still in Afghanistan that we left behind, or Afghanistans that were helping us. It seems like this is getting to be like a trend, because we have Americans in Haiti right now. We have Americans in Iraq. We have Americans, it seems like, all over the place. We have Americans probably in Palestine that right now we can't get out.
Well, what's kind of crazy, my whole life I was in the construction business before, we became podcast superstars. But if I went to buy a watch and he gave me a recommendation, I would listen to him because I don't know anything about watches. I'm in the construction business. Joe Biden, what the hell does he know about the military? He has two Joint Chiefs of Staff, career guys, telling him you must leave 2,500 men on the ground to secure the air base, to get everybody out. This is the speed you're going to... And he ignored everybody's opinion on it. It's crazy.
September 11th was in his mind. That was the date he had. He wanted it to be a significant date that he could tell that he ended this war and he got everybody home. And he didn't care about the regard for safety. It wasn't planned on how to get these people out. He did not give it the thought and attention that he needed. And this was early on in his presidency. And then the cover-up comes. They still aren't telling you the chain of command that there was a sniper that said he had a clear shot of the bomber who that exploded and killed the 13 servicemen. Somebody did not listen. Someone told him not to take the shot, to stand down.
I don't understand that.
And
How
they're
can
not
you have
telling
a
you who.
sniper that doesn't know that he can take the shot? Why is he even there if he can't take the shot?
Well, he asked permission. He has to
Why
ask.
would he have to ask permission? You're the sniper. You shoot the
Yeah,
guy.
well, but
you're sitting there
Because
reasoning.
he didn't want to be court-martialed. So he asked permission.
So crazy that these wars have rules.
And by the way, no one's telling him who. So it was somebody, I don't know if it was the guy that was, MIA for a while. What his name,
It's just so insane that these wars have rules. It's like almost like a Curb Your Enthusiasm episode when you were sitting there watching these two generals that are basically they're both out of the military, obviously, and they're blaming the president for their behavior. They're saying that have you been watching Curb Your Enthusiasm, the new season? Yeah. Oh my God, it's the worst ever. Yeah. But I have a prediction. I'm going to put it right on this show, on our show. I think we're episode 41 or something like that. We're over 300,000 listeners.
What's that? It's the last year?
This is the last year of the Curb Your Enthusiasm. If you saw the end of Seinfeld, the last episode of Seinfeld, did you see it?
Yeah.
Where they all got arrested, they had a trial, and they ended up going to jail. Well, I think this episode, this season of Curb Your Enthusiasm is going to end the same exact way. Curb, Larry David, and Seinfeld are partners.
Right.
So I think, he got arrested when he went to that wedding over that water thing.
Oh, and he could end up in jail?
And so now the whole show is all these people, this season of all these people that are in a fight with him and hate him. His ex-wife, Ted Danson.
Except the comedian that passed away.
Yeah, the comedian that passed away. So I think he's going to have a trial on that water thing. And he's going to, this is my prediction.
That's a great prediction, though.
And he's going to get convicted and go to jail. And at the trial, it's going to be everybody from all the years of Curb Your Enthusiasm, like the end of Seinfeld. All the Newman.
Are going to be people that are going to testify.
Do you remember the last episode of Seinfeld? They had
Poppy.
The soup Nazi. They're going to have the same thing for Larry David.
That's a great...
The girl in the wheelchair that he dated, everybody's going to come to his trial.
That's a great... I think that's unbelievable.
And it's going to be the same assignment. You heard it here, folks.
Right.
Barrett, make a reel. Our great guy Barrett, who does our reels, we have him blowing up all over the place. Barrett, make a reel of that.
And to get on to a serious subject, though, right now, you heard it here first. Cutty said months ago that Israel has they're on a short leash.
I said they have 30 days.
They have 30 days
Flood
to
the
say,
tunnels.
or the world's going to turn against them. And as it turns out, today even, you had Xi of China saying that he is going to be on the side of Hamas. You also had Trudeau of Canada coming out saying they are no longer selling arms to Israel. So I have a funny feeling this has a lot to do with Chuck Schumer, who thought he was helping out the situation, where he really did no favors to Israel. I think that when you have a democracy, that's all you hear about is democracy, democracy. We're telling a country that is 100% a democratic country that voted 99-9 that they're all on the same page. And he's telling them that he wants Netanyahu to step down, which is just using him as a scapegoat rather than, he's trying to get votes. He's trying to appeal to the...
How about Schumer? Chuck Schumer. He's
disgusting.
a Jewish guy.
Disgusting.
Gets on the floor of the Senate and says, you need to overturn the ruling election of Israel, a democratic country, to have a new president or a new prime minister. All
because that Dearborn, Michigan has a really big Palestinian population, and the Congresswoman Tlaib has fired up the base, and they're scared that if they don't...
It's a swing state.
It's a swing state, and they're scared that if they don't get these Palestinian votes, that they could lose Michigan, and if they lose Michigan, they could lose the election. So they are actually catering to a small group of people in the United States that would rather take Hamas's side then let Israel do what they have to do, and we should stand back. They're the ones living there. They're the ones that have to live next to a terroristic country that was attacked, and Chuck Schumer should shut his mouth.
Well, it's kind of crazy. We're here. It's the middle of March, and the election's only 6 or 7 months away. It's peeling towards us really quickly.
But it's a long time. It's the longest election of two candidates that are already picked.
In history?
Yeah, because usually there's all the primaries. You don't really know who your candidates are for at least until August. This is the longest that you actually have. Here's your two candidates.
So I need a prediction. Do you think Joe Biden will debate Donald Trump?
No.
There will be no debate.
No, but there's going to be tremendous pressure because now everybody's scared about...
How about if he says, all right, let's do a remote debate. I'll be in my headquarters, you be in yours. We'll have a moderator in third place. No. That way Joe can cheat. He can look at cards. He can.
How
about if that's his only option for Trump?
There's going to be a lot of pressure on Joe Biden to actually debate him this time around. Last time it was COVID. People were staying in their basements. It was kind of like a built-in excuse. This time around, they probably would have gotten away with that, but because Joe is so unstable on his feet and during these rallies, that the country, for him and against him, want to see, is he capable of doing it? So he has to now prove to people that he can stand up there and at least talk fluently, and I don't think he can. So I really think that they would be better off coming up with some excuse that Donald Trump isn't nice and they're not going to do it and they're not going to debate him.
Well, do you see Joe Biden has new sneakers? He has, remember Seinfeld with Jimmy? Jimmy had the Jimmy shoes. Well, I think he has the Jimmy shoes. You know, they're made where it's impossible to trip. Right. You know, it's like a moon boot. You know,
sort of like a bicycle with
right.
the extra wheels.
And now when he goes out to the helicopter, he has to walk. He wears these boots, these moon boots, where it makes you walk so much better.
I mean, do you know yesterday? During one of his rallies in...
I'm surprised, by the way, I don't mean to interrupt you. Why doesn't this cup at the Boca Resort say Boca Resort?
Because this is a restaurant, Sadel's, inside of...
well, you can't even read that.
But that's their restaurant.
Oh, my God.
They're paying enough rent that they want to have...
We're not marketing geniuses, but I can tell you this should say Boca Resort when I'm holding it up.
But you can get that Boca Resort if you went to the Boca Resort coffee and not the restaurant inside.
All right. Yesterday at Trump's rally...
there was a baby in the audience, and he decided that while the person was introducing him and talking, he was going to leave the stage and talk to the baby. I don't know what advice the baby was going to give him, but I mean, it was ridiculous and it was uncomfortable to watch. And
Joe Biden did that.
Yeah, and it's just every single rally he goes to, he does something that is uncomfortable. And I think their strategy, and this is my prediction, their strategy is going to be for Joe Biden to say nothing. And that way they'll say, the White House will say what they want him to say, and they're going to just dissect everything that Trump says.
Like he said,
bloodbath.
Yeah.
So even though he said it in context where China is building automotive plants in Mexico, and they want to do their EV cars to be made there, and they want to ship them into the United States. And Trump basically said, I'm going to tax them, put a tariff on them of 100%. They won't be able to sell any of their cars in the United States. But if he loses, Biden's going to let that happen. And he said it would be a bloodbath to the U.S. auto industry and the workers.
So what they're going to do, I guess what you're saying, Govy, this is your opinion, and I'm kind of
every word he says they're going to zero in.
Biden's not going to speak, and then they're going to let Trump try and make these unforced errors, which he will make, or parse his words, and that's how they're going to do this campaign. It's Trump against Trump.
You know what it's like? It's like when Muhammad Ali fought George Foreman.
Rope-a-dope.
The rope-a-dope.
Right.
And he's going to let Trump just take these shots, and he's not going to talk, and they hope that Biden at the very end will have a little flurry, will be able to say something. They'll give him that medication that they bring out every now and then, like they did during the State of the Union.
That was unbelievable. Right. With them screaming
and
at the camera.
They'll give him that, and they'll hope that maybe that could finish Donald Trump, that he'll punch himself out.
Now, do you think that the leader of the Congress right now, what's his name, Johnson, is doing a good job?
Well, I mean, it's early.
Kevin McCarthy is in public. Is not in public.
He only has 2 votes to work.
By the way, why was Barack Obama in England visiting the Prime Minister of England?
I think
what's he doing over there?
I think what that's happening is, I think world leaders right now are starting to feel that Donald Trump is so far in the lead right now in the United States that they don't want to say anything negative about Donald Trump right now because they might have to deal with him. Just for instance, that the Prime Minister of Ireland that met with Joe Biden on, I believe, March 17th on St. Paddy's Day, stepped down unexpectedly today. He is leaving Ireland, the Prime Minister. He was one of the youngest Prime Ministers in the history of Ireland. And I have a funny feeling it's because he went and he met Joe Biden, and he saw that Joe Biden can't talk, had to have a cue card in front of him, didn't know his name, and I think after spending time with Joe Biden, he knows in his heart he cannot beat Donald Trump, and he just wants to step down.
Yeah, but explain to me why he would step down? He's head of a country, whether Biden or Trump, he's still head of a country.
He's head of a country, but I think he, just like Barack Obama wants to try to tell the person on 10 Downing, he wants to kind of tell him, don't worry, we got everything under control. I got Susan Rice running the country right now.
Well, that's Govy's conspiracy theory, folks. Govy believes that Biden is a shadow president and Barack Obama is still the president of the United States. And that's why Barack Obama is at 10 Downing Street discussing...
walking in with a nice little shuffle where he looks confident.
And he didn't say a word.
Looks confident that someone could say, okay, this is the guy running the country really. He is really running. He's the president right now. And he's trying to assure everybody, don't worry, we're going to win this thing because...
And did you see that nutcase Liz Cheney on TV last night where she actually came out and said Dick Cheney's daughter that they threw out of the Congress? Yeah. She actually said on TV, Donald Trump, if he becomes president of the United States, will try as hard as he can to change the election laws where you can serve more than 2 terms. Right. She thinks that that's his goal.
Because,
the man will be 78 years old.
Because she's trying...
I mean, he'll be 88 years old by the time he gets out.
She's trying. Yeah, she's trying to get a job on CNN already. She's probably jealous of Jen Psaki. But, it's coming out. She's trying to say everything she can now because they're going to get to this January 6 hearings. And they're going to find out how that was just a joke of a trial. And I'm not saying that people didn't do things that were wrong and it wasn't a dark time. But they're going to find out that Donald Trump won at the National Guard there, and it was Pelosi and Bowser of Washington, D.C. that actually turned it down. And if there was anybody that's going to throw an insurrection, they certainly would not call for the National Guard to come there to try to prevent it. That wouldn't happen.
Well, look at this claim. Donald Trump is trying to claim immunity. Presidents have immunity. And I agree with him. I don't agree with him on much, but I agree that in order for a president to make a decision, he has to be immune from prosecution. Now, you have these 2 generals yesterday that sat there and said, Joe Biden fucked up. We gave him advice. We told him not to leave without 2,500 soldiers.
And he did an airstrike and killed that innocent family.
Well, how about the 13 soldiers that died? If Joe Biden didn't have immunity from prosecution...
They could try him afterwards.
For murder of these 13 soldiers that died.
Right.
These Gold Star families. And I believe it's a really, really good argument.
Or how about flying in illegal immigrants, not crossing the border, literally flying them into our country from from Cuba, from Haiti, from Venezuela, and then one of them raped a mentally challenged girl in Boston.
I mean, the Saudi Arabia deal. You shoot that guy. I mean, he doesn't get a trial. You rape somebody that's handicapped, you're dead. I mean, it's not a trial. There's no trial in my country if I'm running
and to go back when we were discussing DEI hires, when we were talking about Harvard University, well, again, we mentioned Brown, who was the Supreme Court judge. We mentioned that she is a DEI hire, and then yesterday she showed her true form by when they were discussing the First Amendment, and with the Facebook and all the social media and the government getting involved, she basically said it's okay for the United States to tell the social medias to take away your First Amendment rights because they think it might be better for the country. And the First Amendment was there for the protection. She didn't even know the First Amendment. And again, she couldn't tell you what a woman was.
So maybe she was just nervous.
She didn't know what a woman was. She doesn't know what the First Amendment is.
She's a Supreme Court judge.
And she is, and listening to her, I think...
She was nervous.
I think if all the other 8 Supreme Court justices were sitting around the table, they would all be kicking each other under the table saying, can you believe what she just said? I don't know, like, what they say to her afterwards. Do you think they have a drink afterwards and say... Miss Brown, you messed up.
Yeah, but Clarence Thomas, who is as far to the right as you can be, one of his best friends was Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who was very far to the left. So I think there's a camaraderie, or one of 9.
She was great. She did the greatest thing for the country.
By quitting?
No, by staying on. By staying on. Because if it wasn't for Ruth Bader Ginsburg, we would not have... Green. We would not have
She died.
Yeah, they wanted her to step down so Barack Obama could choose someone.
Oh, good point.
But she stayed on, and Donald Trump ended up with three Supreme Court justices. So I mean,
that's his legacy. He changed the Supreme Court. I mean, he changed the complexion of the Supreme Court.
Right, and you have to thank Ruth Bader Ginsburg was one of them.
Right, but ultimately, all these court cases, and Govy was the one that predicted it way back at the beginning. He said Donald Trump will roll the table on all 4 of these cases, and it looks like the Fannie Willis case is done. It looks like the Jack Smith case is in trouble. It looks like the case in New York, the Stormy Daniels case is in trouble. And what's the 4th case? I don't even remember. But it looks like it's in trouble.
No, the only one that's a headache is the one in New York that he's going to win.
The money case.
It's the money case.
Yeah,
but New York City is the one that's going to lose out on this. They have the guy Leary from Shark Tank.
Yeah, Kevin O'Leary's going ballistic.
Yeah,
we got to get him on our show.
Yeah, double watches and everything.
Yeah.
And I bet you if we get him like a
D. Bethune.
A D. Bethune or a...
He's a big watch collector, and every one of them has a red band.
Yeah, I know. We've got to get him a D. Bethune. You know, we do it, Swizz Bits.
It's a great idea.
So, yeah, we should get him on.
All right, Govy, before because we're clicking down the time here.
Wait, it's NCAA time.
Wait, real fast. Peter Navarro just checked in the prison for contempt of Congress, the same thing Hunter Biden's done a number of times. He has a 4-month sentence.
Except...
It's crazy.
It is crazy, but the good news is that he is in a Florida low-security prison, and I'm sure that Governor DeSantis said, if he wants Maine lobster, if he wants stone crabs, if he wants steak, he can have it anytime he wants one, and they're going to make sure his jail cell will resemble what
Ritz-Carlton room looks like.
Remember Al Capone's jail cell at Eastern State Penitentiary? He's going to have a suite in here, and he's going to be able to write his memoir. He's going to have the gym, private shower, and it won't
That's
be.
a good point.
It won't be that bad for him, and he gets to.
And now he can write a book. He'll make $10 million.
Matter of fact, that's
he's like a mob guy that goes to jail rather than rat.
And
he
you know what's
doesn't
crazy?
become a rat.
Was that not the advice you said Hunter Biden should do?
I said Hunter Biden. You have
Should do
Secret
the same
Service.
thing.
You get a cushy deal. You go serve your 6 months. You write a book.
Right, and by the way, they would find a jail that's low security for him. He could do the same thing.
100%.
And by the way, the same people who were claiming that Donald Trump overestimated his properties, which is basically everybody wants to kind of shoot on the high side when they want a loan, and they shoot on the low side if you're paying taxes. But the people who say that he overestimated his property are the same people that think that Hunter Biden's artwork is worth $1.5 million a picture. That's okay for them.
Well, I don't even understand Letitia, whatever James is thinking. I mean, if she's going to padlock his property, seize them and sell them, how's she going to sell them for any value if it's a fire sale? I mean, what the hell is she doing? She's not even thinking.
He might even let him just take it over and say, you run them. Let's see what happens.
I mean, who's going to want to run a business in New York if she seizes those properties? First of all, who's going to, if you're a business guy, let's say I have lots of money and I want to lend Donald Trump money. Why would I want to lend him money knowing that Letitia James is coming after me for being nice to Donald Trump? I mean, it's crazy.
It is.
But anyway, let's talk about March Madness before we go. I mean, college ball, it's crazy. Do you think it's fixed?
No, they made one bad selection by letting Virginia play in this tournament. But that being said, you know, when you fill out your bracket, it's really interesting how even if you ask me who I think is going to win, it's like until you actually see the bracket, you start picking which one, and then it surprises you on who comes out. Like I filled out my bracket, and at the very end, I think that the winner of the NCAA tournament is Purdue.
Could be.
As I went through the whole thing and I saw who was going to be.
Is that your prediction for our
Purdue.
show? Okay.
Is Purdue. And I think they're going to be.
Barrett, we're going to need a clip of that. We're going to need a reel of that.
Yeah, I think I have Purdue. I might have Arizona, North Carolina in the Final Four.
Well, that's too many teams.
No, in the Final Four.
Oh,
but
okay.
I have Purdue winning the NCAA, as it turns out. And all I know is they have the big guy. And the big guy's going to do okay.
Well, did you see Nick Saban going to college football, with his interview about that it's ruined now with the fact that these kids are getting paid? And
it's a
bad deal.
Well, yeah, they don't understand. Schools, schools like Temple University. Who wants to play for Temple University and be shy in Philadelphia when you can go to University of South Carolina and they'll pay you $6 million to be the quarterback?
Yeah, that's unbelievable. Well, Govy, this was a completely unscripted show. You did an amazing job.
Yeah.
We blew through a half-hour show.
And,
we had a lot of fun. We're back, baby. We're back.
Right. And now Trump is a senior
club champ
and the regular club champ.
And we're going to the championship dinner Sunday night. We'll get some reels out of that. We'll show you folks, It's going to be an exciting night. He's going to accept the trophy, and we're going to have fun.
And by the way, Melania is back in the picture.
She looks great. We feel, again, we wish her the best. Her mother passed away at a very young age, 77 years old, and I'm close to that, not too far away.
I hear there's rumors that Kate Middleton might be at the Champions dinner. She might make her appearance, so that way TMZ and everybody can say she's okay.
Yeah, no, let's see her there.
Wouldn't that be great if Kate Middleton showed up to wish Donald Trump luck?
I happen to buy the Globe and the Star and all those dirt magazines. My daughter insists that I'm up on all the gossip, and it says she's so completely depressed because her husband cheated on her.
I don't believe it.
With
I don't believe it.
Woman of aristocracy or some bullshit.
I like her. I think she's fine. She just wants privacy.
She's devastated the fact that he cheated on her.
No way.
And the fact that she had an operation. She really didn't have an operation.
No.
It's a complete.
It was scheduled. I mean, no one's
No,
scheduled.
it could be a scandal. Who knows? Anyway, Since we don't have our executive producer doing our show, why don't you sing the Jelly Roll song?
Hey, my guy Jelly Roll is happens to be super. Now you see him doing his tower to tower things that he has.
Can you hum the song, guy?